Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric here from Moss Pawn & Gun, and today we have another milsurp video for you. Well, I don't know if you can call it a milsurp anymore, but we've got a really cool custom Mosin sporter that we've been working on now, and this particular rifle actually belongs to a pretty important client of ours. But anyway, a very, very awesome setup. I'm going to go briefly over the specs, and today we're going to do the usual. We're going to pop a few steel targets at longer range. We're going to do some 100-yard groups for you. A little bit of playing around with the rifle just to kind of showcase it a little bit. We got our Bluegrass Customs stock. Beautiful stock, very well made. It's got an adjustable comb height, and it's actually got a monopod built into the back of the stock, which is really cool. We've got a rock solid bent bolt handle. We've got a Timney trigger installed on this gun. This particular gun's built on a wartime production round receiver Mosin, just your standard wartime gun. This particular rail system is an M24 scope mount that is available from Rock Solid Industries. Very high quality scope mount and bolt handle that they produce. We've got a Zeiss Conquest 3-9x50. Just your standard duplex style reticle. Very, very high quality optic setting in this bad boy. I want to say these are Warren rings, if I'm not mistaken. So far, the gun's shooting really well. The barrel has been shortened on this particular gun, but this is an example of what you can expect out of a really high-end sporter. When you want to put together something really nice in the way of a Mosin, you know, preliminary accuracy testing with the rifle is quite decent. Of course, a little bit of loading development can kind of tweak the accuracy a little bit. The gun is pillar bedded, and the barrel is free floated back to about an inch or so in front of the receiver ring, okay? The load that we're gonna be using today is a hand load we've developed. We're running 44 grains of Varget with a CCI BR2 primer, Norma brass, okay? We're running 174 grain Sierra Match King, and the whole cartridge is seated out to just under 3 inches overall length. Of course, overall length is going to depend on your particular rifle, so develop it accordingly. Without further ado, we're going to proceed to just shoot a couple of groups with the gun, get the barrel fouled out a little bit, get it printing on paper, see what kind of inherent accuracy potential we can expect to see out of it. So let's go ahead and get on that right now. All right, guys, we're going to start out shooting a couple of 5-shot groups. I'm going to shoot a 5-shot group, and we're going to let Chad print one, see how the accuracy fares for the two of us, and we're going to proceed to shoot a few things with it. Just showcasing the gun a little bit for you today. All right, let's get behind her and shoot a few shots. I'm going to print on that lower right quadrant because I like the very, very small diamond that's on that champion target. I like something small. The smaller the point of aim, and the more still you can hold the gun, the better your group's going to be inheritedly. So let's go ahead and give her a try. Very smooth bolt on this little guy. God dang, that trigger is so smooth. Yeah, we're noticing that with the groups, we are getting a little bit of stringing, but time will tell. Could be me, could be the gun. We will see. Certainly not looking too bad from where I'm at. I've only got a 9-power scope. We're gonna step back on the spotter and have a look. Not too shabby. Bear in mind, guys, that is an initial group. You always shoot about 3 or 4 groups so you can have a group for record. So I think I may do that. I'm gonna go ahead and load 5 more, shoot 1 more group, and then we'll let Chad shoot 2, and then that'll give us an idea of the accuracy potential. Very economical round to shoot in general. One of the nice things about 54R is that, you know, you can get this ammo in spam cans if you don't mind shooting corrosive. Of course, you know, I wouldn't really expect the same kind of accuracy. The corrosive stuff, kind of anywhere across the board. I mean, I've seen it shoot really good to really bad. You really can't tell. It depends on the quality of surplus you're using. We like to run hand loads when we're running for accuracy, because if you run a good hand load with a quality bullet, good powder, good primer, you know, a good recipe, you're generally not going to get horrible accuracy unless it's the fault of the gun or the shooter. So that's eliminating a variable in the situations. What we're always trying to do when we're running good ammunition, shooting from a bench rest, we're trying to find the mechanical accuracy of this rig with taking as much human error out of it as possible. And that's why we do this. So I'm going to shoot another group, try to slow down, take my time, hopefully we'll punch them right where we want them. I'm gonna go bottom left quadrant on this one. I like aiming at that small quadrant. It gives me a very fine, precise point of aim there. And that's what we want. I mean, heck, in my mind, the way that I look at rifle accuracy is it has to do with consistent accuracy. You know, I'd rather have a gun that I know can shoot 1 minute consistently, shot for shot, no matter how hot the gun gets, no matter what you put through it, than a gun that you have to have some really uber specific load in order to get it to shoot really well sometimes. I mean, that is the definition of accuracy, is what a firearm is capable of doing repeatedly, over and over and over consistently. Accuracy just isn't about a one-off group, it's about consistency. It's also about what a shooter can do. It doesn't have quite as much to do with any other thing. It's a combination of the skill of the shooter, the rifle, the load, and that is accuracy. You can't, you know, the rifle will not shoot itself. You have to get behind it and take the time to get to know a rifle intimately. And the more you know about the rifle, the more time you have behind the trigger of that particular rifle design, the better of a shooter you're going to be behind that rifle. And that's generally how it works. So those two groups, about the same, gives us a pretty good bit of data to go on. This little load not shooting too bad, it's fire forming nicely. Let's get Chad behind the rifle and see how well he fares. And again, it's about consistency. If this rifle splits 1-inch groups for Chad, then that'll tell us that with this load, that's probably about what we can expect. So I'll get out of the way, let Chad have a go. Very smooth shooting little rig thus far.
All right, guys, well, I'm gonna take a couple of shots with the Mosin here and see if I can maybe get it to sing a little bit better than Eric did. I mean, those groups aren't bad, but notice a little bit of vertical stringing, which could be kind of anything. Could be contact with the barrel to the stock. I mean, maybe the bedding's walking around a little bit, who knows, but if it shoots consistently, it shoots consistently. It's probably the best that we can expect from this particular load and gun combination here. So without further ado, I'm gonna shoot 2 groups, see how it's running, and then I think we're gonna probably plank a little bit, maybe at 200 and 300 yards, and we're gonna move up to the top of the hill. Let's see what we can do here.
Oh yeah.
Good God, yeah it is.
That joker is consistent.
Stack 2 on each other?
Heck yeah, you did.
Opening up a little bit there?
Nah, not much.
Okay.
They're still touching.
All right, let's see here. Yeah, the stock kind of wobbles around a little bit because it doesn't have any real nice like flat surfaces. Not exactly conducive to bench rest style shooting, but I think we can pull a rabbit out of the hat with this one. Let's see here.
You're doing it so far.
Yeah, don't jinx me yet.
I'm not jinxed. Oh wow. I don't know what you did, but that last shot drifted high and left about 1 inch.
Yeah, didn't do anything.
But man, that those first 4 shots landed into well under a half a minute. Very, very exceptional accuracy.
Well, still about a minute when everything's said and done, right?
Yeah, it's still about the same size as my group. You just had, see, I had three shots out of each group that strung tight like that, and then I would have either a fly or they'd start to walk up. So I'm thinking that considering as good of a group as that, you know, started out like, I'm going to say that it's probably a bedding issue where maybe the rifling or the rifle barrel was touching the stock a little bit in a few areas, and that can cause some stringing. But try another group and let's see. That is an amazing feat of accuracy though. Those first 4 shots, I mean, I couldn't get a Remington 700 to shoot that good.
Yeah, I remember.
All right, looking good. Oh, wow. That shot literally went through your first hole. The first hole you made in the paper, it went through that hole. Like almost perfect. Yeah, I would say that little group there probably triangulates out to roughly an inch, inch and a quarter. So about the same as my groups if you count your flyer from the first group.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that's pretty consistent. I mean, you know, a lot of guns we shoot, they always have that little flyer that strings out, but we're gonna grab some more ammo and we're gonna take some shots at the steel at various ranges, so let's get to it.
All right, guys, well, gun's not grouping too terrible. We are gonna punch out to 440 here a little bit later in the video, but first, I've got a gopher posted about 240 yards away down there, and we're gonna see if we can pop him with this Mosin here. 174 grain match load. Let's see what we can do here. Ready?
Yeah, send it. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right in the neck.
Right in the neck. Oh man. Oh, it never gets old.
Grouping's one thing, but this is the fun part.
Oh yeah, I know.
All right, do that again.
I'm gonna hit him again. You ready?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's minute of gopher, 250 yards. Smoked him.
Yeah.
Smoked him. You know what? We're just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna shoot him again. See what we got here. Kiss it.
And bear in mind, guys, that gopher is only 4 inches wide at the belly. His head's only about 3 inches wide. So
wow, that, you know what? I'll take that.
pretty impressive.
Yeah, my group stringing a little bit earlier, I think that makes up for it a little bit.
It does. Why don't you go for one of those auto poppers out there at 3?
At 3? Okay. Let's see if we can, let's see. That one on the left side's a Magnum and he's what, 8 inches?
8 inches. The one on the right is standard auto popper, that's 6. Okay,
Hit near the bottom, didn't
you hit a little bit low, yep. Give it maybe another minute or so of hold.
All right.
Just over the top.
Just over the top, so I went a little bit too high. That's okay.
Yep, just down right in the middle of the popper there. Favoring slightly to the left.
We did hit it though?
You did hit it.
All right, let's try our little small popper on the right. He's 6 inches, right?
Favor just a slight right hold.
I'll tell you what, let's see if we can do a headshot at 250 yards there on a D28.
Just a little low in the neck, but dead center, man.
Wow. This thing is dead consistent. You want to have a go?
Sure.
Awesome. All right. Sweet.
All right, guys. Well, Eric was just having a little bit too much fun there hitting that gopher, so I'm going to give it a whirl. And I'm going to try to hit those poppers at 300 yards. Mainly going to focus on the gopher and those 2 poppers up there. Go for the small targets. All right.
You nailed him. He blew his nose off. Good shot, right in the head.
Wear that little guy out.
Got him, good shot. Same spot. Well guys, I tell you right now that is a measure of consistency. What we spoke about earlier in the video about consistency, that's what we're talking about. 2 shooters, 1 rifle, same load. All of us, you know, punching it out, doing what we need to do.
Man, I tell you what, that's a load of fun right there. All right, I'm gonna go for the targets at 3 there.
Okay. Good shot, you hit a little bit low. Good shot, right in the center. Keep whatever hold you had and you ought to hit that little 6-incher, no problem.
Yeah, I'm giving about a minute hold over the top of the gong there, so.
Okay. Good shot, a little bit low, but right on the money. Dead center, good shot. That's a headshot.
Man, I tell you what, I mean, it may group about a minute on paper, but, you know, the proof's in the pudding, boys and girls. I mean, that steel doesn't lie, you know. We need to take this thing up the hill.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, guys, well, the little Mosin's not shooting too bad today. Very nice custom rifle, a lot of fun to shoot. We've backed off here to 440 yards, and we're gonna shoot a couple of groups with our same load that we were running before, and see how good the gun will shoot for us. Chad is gonna shoot a group, and I'm gonna shoot a group. We'll see who gets the better group, and again, this is a lunch battle, so whoever gets the larger group has to buy lunch, so no pressure. Little gun shooting pretty consistent so far. You know, the funny thing about sitting behind a build like this is that it doesn't feel like you're shooting a service rifle. It almost feels like you're shooting some uber high-end commercial rifle. And when a milsurp's done really well in terms of sporterizing, you can really tell when you're behind the trigger, it just feels so nice. Looks like a pretty good group right there. All right, so not too bad of accuracy there out of the little Mosin. I've got one of my little Federal Champion VisiShot targets I'm going to use kind of as a little redneck ruler here. And we're just going to look at our spread. And we're looking at just under 7.5 inches. Not too bad. That's indicative of about 1.5 to maybe 1.75 accuracy, which is probably not what we want to see overall. 174 grain Match King with a little bit of time behind the rifle and getting her fouled in real nice, getting yourself settled in. I would imagine that gun should be able to print about a 3.5 or 4 inch group at this distance. That may be something we need to step up the powder charge or do a little bit more tweaking with the load. Time will tell. That's one of those things that you have to kind of, you may not ever get the hand load to shoot the way you want right out the gate, but just to be sure, we're gonna get Chad behind the trigger, let him shoot a group, see how his accuracy fares in comparison to mine, and we'll go from there. You know, if Chad and I print a very similar group, then that'll tell us that the rifle and load combination is probably gonna do as good as it's gonna do for both of us, given that scenario. So we're gonna go ahead and get Chad on the trigger, give it a little try.
All right, guys, well, Eric's group wasn't that bad at 440 here. I'm gonna take a shot at it and see who's gonna buy lunch today. Wow, that Timney trigger is incredible.
It sure is.
Good God, if you can't shoot good with that trigger in your Mosin, something's wrong.
Good triangulation, looking very good. So far, looking like maybe about a 4.5, 5 inch group in that ballpark.
Yeah, it's still respectable for a Mosin.
Heck yeah, it is.
All right, one more shot. Ooh, that looked like it may have opened it up a little bit there.
No, I wouldn't say by much. Judging by what I'm looking at here, those first two shots were probably your extreme spread, maybe about 5 inches.
Okay.
Maybe just slightly over minute accuracy. That's not too shabby.
Not too bad. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna take a few shots at those poppers that we have down there. We've got two Colt auto poppers from Shoot Steel. One of them is their Magnum popper, which is 8 inches. A little bit thicker steel. It's actually rated up to 338 Lapua Magnum. And then we've got our small 6-inch popper that we typically shoot with you know, bolt guns at longer range. I'm gonna take a few shots at both. I kind of know where my group is. I don't know if I'll be able to hit that small one, but we're gonna give it a try. I think we'll shoot that Magnum auto popper first on the left.
Boy, you nailed him right in the center, maybe just slightly low and right. That's good. Not bad at all.
It always amazes me when we shoot at those smaller targets how everything starts to tighten up, you know?
Well, you know, the smaller the target, the better the group is going to be.
Oh, yeah. Well, speaking of small targets, let's go for that little bitty auto popper. That's a 6-inch target in the round segment there. We'll give it the same hold. Ooh, that thing's itty bitty. Oh, yeah.
Got him just on the left-hand side.
All right, one more shot here. Oh, just right over
the top of it.
Yep, I saw it.
All right, guys, well, it's hard to call it right now, but it looks like I might be buying some lunch today. All right, so Chad's group didn't fare too bad at all. Here's the furthest extreme of the group, and then there's the other furthest extreme.
Right about 6 inches.
Right around 6 inches, so maybe about an inch, inch and a quarter smaller than my group. So that shows the potential for accuracy for that particular rig. Now, granted, whenever you work up a hand load, you're always going to have an initial accuracy development you're going to do where you might have to make tweaks to the powder charge, seating depth, maybe the type of bullet you use. You know, sometimes a certain gun just might not respond well to a given projectile at all.
No, and that load that we use is just kind of one of the pet loads that works in a lot of different Mosins. I mean, it's always a good baseline to test a gun out with.
Absolutely. So. We've always liked working with these old sporters when we, get them put together, and that particular rifle is very nice. You know, I love the stock, I love the trigger, I love the optic that's on it. You guys might recall where we did the K31 video, and that thing just shot so great. I mean, Chad came out here and printed about a 3.5 inch group with that particular gun. And it's just amazing the type of accuracy these old war horses can really have.
That's one of those things, when you start with a gun that's pretty much inherently accurate from the get-go, I mean, it can only get better. Now, a Mosin is another story. Sometimes they shoot really great out of the gate, just in their military configuration. But it's amazing to see what you can do with a Mosin after sporterizing it just a little bit with a little bit of careful tuning and whatnot. I mean, you can really get them shooting very, very good.
Well, that's right. You know, you throw a good trigger in it, good stock, good scope mount, good scope, and the gun's got to do a certain amount better than it would have before. So we appreciate you watching today's video. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself seeing this old Mosin do its thing just like it did when it was made. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next time.
Take it easy.